Hey, this is John from Peach Guitars, and I'm delighted to say that I have Shawn Tubbs with me today.
Hey everybody.
We are having fun today. We just did a live stream earlier. We went through a load of cool questions and stuff that came through from a load of our customers and friends of the YouTube channel. So that's going to be coming out shortly as well. So make sure you check that out as well. But yeah, today we're kind of just going to be talking about some gear, and obviously talking about Shawn's new signature pedal, the Tilt from REVV. So yeah, why don't we start talking about kind of what it's all about and kind of how it got to being in the market, and its inception. How did it kind of come about? So
yeah. Well, it really came from Derek Eastfeld, of course, who's part owner of REVV, and then of course the main designer at REVV is Dan Trudeau. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Dan approached me and just said, hey, if we could build a pedal for you, what would it be like? What's your sound?
Yeah.
And for me, it's more based on those single channel tube amplifiers, high powered Tweed Twins, Marshalls. How can I? The sound in my head is how can I get all of that kind of crammed into one overdrive pedal? I didn't want it to be like, well, it's a Marshall Plex pedal, or it's a this pedal, or that
Vox,
pedal.
or
Yeah. I wanted it to really react like, like I said, a JTM or a high-powered twin, but all the way down to the the little boxes too. The Tweed boxes are killer, and but I wanted it to be kind of a medium gain pedal, not super high gain, because that's how I play. Dynamics are really, really important to me, so I wanted it to kind of breathe just like a high-powered tube amp would breathe. So on that side of it, the overdrive side, that's what we came up with, and that's what we went for. And then I knew I was going to want a boost to run into it. Yeah. But I didn't want it to be a single knob boost, because we're running basically 12 dB of clean boost into it.
And it can be harsh or muddy kind of as well.
Right. So, yeah, it can get dark. So, or strident, and I wanted to incorporate some sort of EQ, and I just thought a tilt EQ would be the best and easiest workflow way to do it. So it would allow me to add highs and cut lows simultaneously, and then the opposite depending on where I set it. So I can use it to remove anomalies, but at the same time I can use it to quickly sculpt in a tone and get where I need to be on the boost side. And then there's a switch on there, the tight switch. The reason that's there is if, let's say, you were to go to the darker side of the tilt EQ, so you've got more lows and cut highs, and you love how that sounds, but now it's too boomy. You don't have to mess around with your tone stack to fix it. You can just throw the switch and cut a static amount more, or just a little bit. So that's kind of the concept behind it. Was, like I said, not to be this active like amp in a box thing, but I wanted it to respond like an amalgamation of a bunch of different things.
Yeah, well, and from my experience of playing the pedal, a lot of amp in a box type pedals, you have to play for a really clean amp, don't you?
Yes.
Otherwise it's kind of becomes redundant, because it just adds too much kind of colour to the sound of a driven amp. But with that, I've tried it, we were talking about it earlier, through a high gain Marshall with the just the boost side, and it was just really, really usable. And we turned down the gain and just cranked up the volume on that left hand side, and it still kind of hit the front end of the amp really hard, and was still really usable. But most of the time that kind of your application is either into a pretty clean amp, or something just on the edge of breakup. Yeah,
just honestly edge of breakup. And I have run it into amps that were more than that. And yeah, you can, even on that side of the pedal, you can create two different voices. You can run the gain down on that and have that be a voice to hit the amp harder, and then do the same thing on the boost side. Now you've got two different tonalities to push that amp. But yeah, for the most part, my world revolves around either pretty clean or right on the edge of breakup is what it was designed for.
Yeah. Maybe you could just show us for a few different tones, and kind of just show how that tilt EQ and that low end kind of cut works.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll start on this side of the pedal. So for me, like right here, the amp's breaking up a little bit,
Yeah.
not a ton. Start point for me is going to be something like this.
Yes, and it's got like the amp-like response, hasn't it?
Exactly, because I just backed it off and it was able to do, you know, still be kind of glassy. It didn't get super dark.
No.
And yeah, it doesn't compress, but it does have that kind of tube amp, just slight sag.
Yeah,
you know.
I know it sounds great, and I was saying earlier as well, all of the controls are very even, aren't they? All the way throughout the sweep,
Yeah.
it's got a nice even graduation as it kind of goes through there, because you can add quite a lot of top end, or really kind of get a super thick sound from it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You want me to run that real quick?
Yeah. It's funny because the gain level isn't really changing that much, is it? The fundamental tone of the voice of the pedal is still there, but it's just adding that like finer EQ to it.
Yeah, just the more. And the main thing I wanted to make sure of too, when, you know, Dan and I were voicing the pedal, is, you know, the gain right now is at about 12 or noon, right?
Yeah, that sounded like you just added on another boost pedal.
Exactly,
kind of thing.
yeah. Because I wanted to make sure if you dime the gain, you don't have to reach for the tone stack.
No.
You know, that was really important to me. So that, you know, that's kind of the, you know, but even with this much gain.
Yeah, it just softens everything up really nice, doesn't it? Like that.
It'll still clean up. Yeah.
So the boost side of the pedal, is
Yep.
that where you would kind of do like the final tone shaping almost to suit the amp?
Yeah, well, it's really up to the individual. Like for me, the way it's dialed right now is I would call it just my more setting.
Yeah.
So if I'm here, so for me, that's kind of the more setting. So it's not changing anything drastically. It's just it's more. Now, if I turn up boost, that could get maybe a little too boomy. I can hit the full cut. You know, that's one way to look at it, is, you know, I just want to add more without things changing drastically. But we can go the other way. Let's say I want a brighter tone. Well, let me show you this really quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the way to the right is going to cut highs, add lows, right? All the way to the left does
Yeah,
the opposite.
that's almost giving you a different kind of just amp clean sound, isn't it?
Yeah,
as well, like that.
yeah. We just kind of turn this thing
Yeah.
into a box.
Yeah.
You know? And that's a big part of it too. Is like when I'm on a session and the producer says, "Hey, I want more of a box thing, or I want more of this or that." I don't have to get up and out of my vibe to go either change amps or
Yeah,
dial differently.
yeah.
I can do
You
it
can do it all
all
from there.
like right there. So that's a really important thing. But if you're using it to, you know, to manipulate the other side, yeah, you can use it, you know, both sides at once all the time, but you may just want...
I like it like that, with the gain down lower on the drive side and then boosting it from the boost side.
Yeah, and then just hit it. So in this case, I could go for like a brighter thing. So that's my rhythm tone.
Yeah. helps you cut through. But it's not.
Yeah.
It isn't harsh, is it? It's got that sort of presence and kind of like ping to the note, but it really doesn't sort of like, you know, give you that ice pick shrill kind of top end. It just focuses everything up, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Without getting overly strident. You know.
Yeah. So with the design of the pedal, I know you said it was kind of like a, you know, almost like a sound that you was trying to get from, you know, some of your favourite amps that you've played through and stuff. Was there a starting point like with another overdrive that you particularly liked and said, I like this, but you know, it doesn't quite do this? Or
No, not at all, because we just didn't want to go that direction. So I basically told Dan, like, these are the sounds. And this was during all the mayhem that ensued, so you know, you couldn't do anything in person. But
no,
he sent me several prototypes of, okay, I think this is, and I picked through a bunch of prototypes, and then we'd tweak on the one that I settled on. And yeah, we never once were like, well, let's get this pedal and voice it after that. You know, it was really a from scratch effort for sure. And Dan doesn't really work that way anyways.
No.
Like you don't really hand him a pedal and say, well, just I want a variation of this. He'll
yeah, all of their stuff seems to be, you know, very unique designs, doesn't it? It's not like a, you know, just another clone of another pedal, you know, or their amps, you know, they've always got plenty of cool stuff happening.
Yeah, it's really kind of Dan's style. So it's, I can't really say it's, I mean, I guess I can say, you know, if you like a blues breaker, this is not a blues breaker, but you probably like this, you know, but it's definitely not based on anything. Yeah.
Well, it really doesn't. You don't hear one frequency like pushed or cut, do you? Really, like when you first play through the pedal, you kind of, you know, it's you're really not, you know, pinpointing it at being to like, it's a tube screamer or it's an OCD, you know, that can sometimes have a bit more of that kind of mid scoop in it. It just it is that kind of like just big, rich, you know, kind of overtone. You know, I'm struggling to find the word for it, but it has that kind of the dynamics of a very loud amp, doesn't it?
Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, to me, I just wanted it to sound as harmonically complex as possible as an overdrive pedal, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And you've found that it plays well with other pedals, like other boosts before and after and stuff.
Yeah, before and after, and it, especially using that boost side into any other pedal. Zero argument. Yeah. Plays well with everything. It gets along with everybody. It's a nice pedal. It's you know, it's a very polite pedal.
Yeah. No, well, it's, you know, it's there to do a job, isn't it? It's just you know, it's a really good all-round overdrive, and for, you know, we've tested it out with tellies and strats and humbuckers, and it can you know, it can handle any of those pickups. And you know, I think the key really is that boost channel. You know, for most people that just start off trying out the overdrive sound, you know, we're going to be impressed with it straight away. But I actually think, you know, the way I would use it most of the time, I would have both channels on and just kind of, because I really love the sound of a boost pedal into an overdrive.
Of course.
So, and that's kind of for my solo sound, that would be what I would kind of use it as.
Yeah, because I mean, that's why I knew we would probably set it up for that, because a lot of guys were going to.
Yeah, because perhaps you can just show us what you did there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you just hold down the switch, it'll just turn on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So you can step straight into that.
Yep.
No tap dancing required.
Nope.
No. Well, let's hear some more tones. Let's have a listen.
So once again, like this starting point is still pretty much like.
That's amazing, because you can hear that is a Strat with a humbucker in it. You can, you know, a lot of guitars when you change to that, like a lot of HSS guitars, you know, it kind of, you can't really tell what it is anymore, but you can hear that that's a humbucker in a Strat style guitar, can't you? It's just, yeah, that just sounds so good. And like that top end presence that it's got, I always find is so hard to get, you know, in pedals, because it can just be either too flubby or then it just becomes too harsh, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, that sounds absolutely killer. So,
thanks,
yeah,
man.
so I recommend you all going out and going on the peachguitars.com website and purchasing one straight away. Obviously, I would say that. But yeah, no, it's definitely one of the best overdrive pedals we've heard over the last few years. And it's not just, you know, I don't want to just, you know, kind of pigeonhole it as just being an overdrive. It can do so much more. If you've got a clean amp or a dirty amp, it can really give you a whole load of extra tones and stuff going on. So if you want to know anything more about Shawn, we've got a really nice live stream that we filmed as well. So we talked a lot about Shawn's playing career and loads of other gear stuff. So make sure you check that out. But I'm going to let Shawn play us out, and just want to say thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.